Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If pay to win was a tank, then this is that tank. And we will see it in the video why I call this tank a pay to win tank. But before we get started on the video, let's quickly go through the setup that I'm using. For equipment, I have a loader for better reload, gun stabilizer for better gun handling, vents for slightly even better gun handling. For skills, I have Born Leader, rapid loading, steady aim, snapshots, sixth sense, safe storage, track mechanic, armor angling, and sixth sense. So all the skills are also tailored towards better gun and DPMs, as well as more survivability because of I'm using track mechanic as well as armor angling along with safe storage. So let's get started with the video. Why do I feel this is a pay to win? A lot of people complain about different tanks being pay to win, and I don't agree with them. There are not many tanks that you can consider pay to win, especially something that gets released with season pass. They're not even that strong, and people just go and start saying this is a pay to win tank just because maybe they had one good game or they saw one good game. So that for me, a tank can only be pay to win. First, you can only buy it with the gold or real money. And secondly, you should be able to actually win in the tank. The tank should increase your odds of winning in the game. A tank can't be pay to win just because you have to buy it. Maybe a tank has a good gun, but it still won't help you. For example, the case of a Tehran. Currently, its win rate is sub 50%. The tank has a great gun, you can have high damage game, but you're not going to win any games with Tehran because for an average player, they don't understand the camo or how to use it very efficiently. Same goes for good players as well. They will obviously make it work Tehran better than other tanks, but their win rate would not be as good in Tehran as it would be in this tank. For average players, this tank will have significant higher win rate compared to other tanks like AVRE Tehran or any other tank. And then for good players, they'll still have 5 to 10% better win rate in this tank. So going back to my initial reason, for a tank to be pay to win, you should have to pay money, and then the tank should be able to carry the game. And in most situations, you can carry the game in a tank if a tank has a good gun as well as good armor, like it is RBRT immune, and even the opponents struggle to pen against this tank if you're playing it properly. And then you should have a good gun to dish out damage in return. And that's what this does. That's why super heavies have higher win rate, and this is the best, not one of the best, this is the best super heavy. It has one of the best armor, the best gun for a super heavy, as well as mobility, little slow, still not bad on flat ground, and the tank has 2800 HP. It has everything you need to survive. It'll eat some menace to be taken out by opponents, and it can dish out damage very quickly. So as the game started, you saw early on, E3 and E4 was pushing two of the very strong tanks, and I was able to pen them reliably. Not to mention E4, I penned the lower plate of the E4 with the secondary gun. Not only this tank has a very powerful primary gun 750 with APCR, best gun for a super heavy, it also has a best secondary gun. If I can pen frontally an E4, you could see how strong it is. Of course, you can't compare it with the other primary guns, but it's the best secondary weapon in the game in World War II. You can't push a Rogaldor. The combined DPM of base DPM of both these guns comes out to 3442, and premium APCR for both, or the premium shells are APCR, so you don't have to worry about. In mouse, you have low alpha. This tank 700 alpha. Even 100 premium is heat, not a problem. We got APCR with 332 pen. Type 5, you can use 14 for AP. It has low pen, low alpha. And they do have alternate secondary weapon as well, but not as good. They have low alpha. Mouse's secondary weapon is good. Even 100, it doesn't even fire APCR, and Type has the weapon on its hull, so not really that usable. But this tank's gun is on the turret, so it moves same as your secondary or primary gun. And as you can see, already at 7000 damage. The game just began. 5 minutes, not just begin. but I managed to do damage to E3, E4, I7, as well as Uris that was at the back. And while I was pushing, I also managed to take out Borsig, and another tank that fell victim to this massive gun was Ambit. He was crossing. So whenever I shoot with this gun, I quickly switch, and your alpha is actually, in most cases, it comes out to 700 plus 240, so 940 alpha. The tank, it has weaker armor than Liban, like the lower plate is pennable, but a lot of the player, because the tank is so rare, you don't see it as common, because that's not rare, but rare for a newer tank. You don't see that many Rogals as you see other tanks that are season pass tanks. So, and many players, they might confuse this with Lehman, where Lehman has a lot stronger lower plate and weaker sides, but this tank has weak lower plate and stronger sides. So it gets benefit of being not that common, as it was only available to buy once, and those who missed the opportunity might not even know what this tank is. Again, pushed 2790, penned him, and he bounced off me because he kind of panicked, retreated backwards, didn't have a shot at my lower plate, and I do ended up bouncing a shot from him. 2200 blocked. So coming back to why this tank is pay to win, I do have stats to back it up as well. If you go to watch stars, filter by tier 10, this tank and Lehman are the tanks with highest win percentage. Even for me personally, these are my top two tanks with the highest win percentage of 73-74% win rate, and all the games were solo. I approximately have 500 games in both these tanks combined. If I play these tanks in platoon, the win rate could also increase to 95% if it's just a two-man platoon, just because how strong these tanks are. So yeah, it is pay to win because it wins the game. I can easily carry the games, even if the odds are against me, if I play it correctly, if I don't overexpose myself. In this case, see, I made a dumb play. I know our heavy tank was pushing through the middle, so a Tehran that ally is distracted on him, so I overpeaked, put a shot into 2790, penned him, and he bounced me twice, and I managed to come back. This is also a stupid proof tank. I made a dumb mistake, dumb peek, and I was not punished. What else do you need? I'm penning everyone, and they're not. I did take 2 pens from E4 earlier. Again, the lower plate is weak, and someone who knows it is, and if I expose it, they will pen it. But if I angle it correctly, and the lower plate is hidden, and I kind of angle it at like 45 degrees, it is very difficult to pen the tank. Hatch is also pennable, but because tank is not as common, people just don't shoot at the hatch, and if you're moving back and forth, shooting at the hatch is also a bit difficult. At 9400 damage, a hope for 10k damage. Doing 10k in a tank is always special, as I mentioned it again and again. But this game we have more potential as well, as Tehran has never been spotted. ML is 1000 plus, and they have 780 as well. I think I pinged medium and he pushed forward to spot. However, I did not have any shot in ML, unfortunately. And the T-59, his death is because he followed my instruction. I thought I'll have shot when he spots ML, but ML was in cover. Our Tehran is pushing around to get a shot on 780. I decided to retreat so that they don't go on our cap, because once they get on the cap and I'm not in a position to spot them while they're crossing, it will be very difficult for me as I'll have to drive it in the open. Tehran pushed around, put a big shot, high roll on 780, and I was hoping he might kill the tank, but opponent also have ML as well as Tehran covering that 780. So repositioning, going to C2 area. ML2 gets spotted. Tehran is dead. Unfortunately, situation is 1v3 against a full health Tehran, 1000 health ML, and a one-shot 780. However, I'm still very confident that I can win this situation despite there being a Tehran in the enemy team. I might not feel confident in any other tank, but I do, just because a very, very reliable armor as well as very, very solid gun, and I'm positioning myself accordingly. Because the tank is slow, I'm compensating for the speed by moving in advance as opposed to reacting. I'm being proactive in my rotation. So I'm expecting them to go towards the cap. I peek, I get spotted, I peek again. ML is driving, I take my time to aim. I penned, unfortunately, for Tehran. He was in front of ML, and I ended up penning the Tehran. I missed one shot, but then I penned my second and then bounced the third on Tehran as well. And by this time my first gun is loaded already, and I put a shot into Emil, bringing my total to 11,000. I'm reloading both guns, and I didn't want to peek as Tehran must be loaded, and I didn't want to take any shot from him as I won't trade effectively. If I take a shot from Tehran, I can still survive if Tehran doesn't super high roll, but I realized that 780 might be coming from behind, so I again, being reacting proactively, I turned around, going back, and by the time I'll get there, I will also be loaded with both the guns. I was a little worried that maybe they will push me from behind, but after they took those two shots and Emil down to 2, I was hoping they won't, and I might catch 780 here and take him out of the game. Once he's out, I can take the rest of the remaining tanks. And as I was coming back, there's a Tehran full health. He fired, bounced again, and that's what I was talking about, the armor. 780, however, he came around the backside, penned me. He was one shot. I kind of took him lightly at this point, and that's come down to me. I could have dealt with this situation better. I had the primary shell loaded, and I was gonna. His alpha is 530, so he can one-shot me. But to make it worse, I shot the Emil with my big gun, and I was a little bit too confident here, as I was at 12,000 damage. He was retreating. I should have waited for my other gun or main gun to reload before I start peeking. I overextended myself. Even though I did lose this game, I still managed to have very high win rate. My highest is in this tank. Great game by 780. And if I hadn't gone overconfident towards the end, as I thought I did the hard part of the game, I would have easily won, as well as the other tank was also one shot. But again, overconfidence thrills but kills. So that is it for this game. Do let me know what you think about Rogal Dorn. Do you think it's the ultimate pay to win tank, or you disagree with me? That is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.